Have you ever watched videos like I built my ultimate dream gaming room, building my dream setup for productivity, transforming my empty room into my dream bedroom, etc. Because I want to ask, don't you get tired of this? Look at apartment prices nowadays. Crazy, huh? I would never buy one, not in my 20s, 30s, and I guess even 40s. Even renting an apartment is getting expensive these days. But I'm not a person who gives up. So that's why, for the last 5 years, I've been building my dream setup in my parents' house. And that's the ultimate workplace for anyone who lives with their parents. Today, I'm going to talk about what it's really like to build your setup in your own house versus in your parents' house. The limits, what you can actually create, how it looked at the beginning, and how it looks now. This video is a bit different because it's something most of you can relate to. Probably 80% of my audience still lives with their parents, just like me. Or maybe you're just curious to see how it all looks from the outside. Either way, stick around till the end and let's get into it. As usual, this isn't my first setup. In 2020, I didn't even have one. I just had a laptop and a mouse, and I could play only where it was convenient. I bought my laptop in 2018 when I was 14 years old. My parents gifted it to me. Since then, I wanted a cool setup because I loved watching YouTubers with cool setups. But I thought I would never have one, considering I lived with my parents in a private house in a settlement with bad internet. And I didn't even have my own room. I really wanted to live alone, even when I was 14, but at that time, I obviously couldn't. So basically in 2020, when I turned 16, my parents gave one room to me and my little brother. So technically we shared one room together. They bought me this small angular table where you could just sit and space was pretty tiny. But still, that was my first setup. The transition between my little version without a setup and me now. In that setup, I had my laptop, my mouse from Bloody, it was a famous brand for devices back then, a random keyboard from AliExpress, and a mic I also bought from AliExpress because I was already making videos for YouTube in 2020. In general, the total price of that setup was around $550. I had that setup for about 6-8 months if I'm not mistaken, and after that I started upgrading it piece by piece. And I'm glad I filmed it on my old channel. The first thing I bought after that was of course a new bigger table. Actually, I ordered this table myself. I opened a secondhand market and found a furniture company that could make a table based on your own drawing. I drew my own table, sent it to them, and they made it. It was really good at the time and I liked it, but it wobbled a lot. Anyway, I wasn't paying too much attention to that, but I mentioned it on my old channel. My next upgrade was a budget 75Hz monitor with full HD resolution and an IPS panel. That was an incredible upgrade after my laptop's tiny TN display, but still it was budget. After that, of course, the next upgrade was my PC. But in 2020, I only managed to save enough for the components without a video card, because there was a GPU shortage at the time due to mining. So I built the PC without a proper GPU, but I actually wanted a 1660 Super or RTX 2060 back then. I waited until the end of the mining craze and for prices to drop, but I waited too long. Still, at that moment, the total price of the setup was around $950 with a PC that didn't have a proper GPU. It was still a big upgrade because I added a lot of RGB lights and bought headphones. And finally, after 2 long years, in the summer of 2022, the GPU shortage ended, and we could finally buy GPUs for normal prices. By that time, I had obviously saved up enough money since I was already 18 and legally working. When prices dropped, I realized I could buy not just the RTX 2060, but also the AMD RX 6600 XT or RTX 3070, which were the newest lineup back then. I was so excited by the prices that I decided to buy the RTX 30 series. At first, I thought about getting an RTX 3070, but then I remembered my CPU was a Ryzen 5 2600X, and immediately regretted building that PC. Still, I ended up buying an RTX 3060, which caused a small bottleneck, but it was better than the RTX 3070. I thought maybe I'd upgrade the CPU later. Spoiler, I haven't. After a while, that same year, my family and I moved to a new apartment in a city with a good internet connection. I convinced my parents to subscribe to the fastest internet plan available, 500 megabits per second. By the way, I have a video about it on my channel if you want to check it out later. After that, as a more grown man with a job at McDonald's, I upgraded my setup a bit. A sponsor sent me a microphone, then I bought a bracket for my budget Samsung monitor, an HDD, and finally a gaming chair from Cougar. That cost me around $300, bringing the total setup cost from $950 to $1,800 with everything included. After that, I didn't upgrade anything because I focused on making content in English on my other channels. So technically, for about 1 or 2 years, my setup stayed the same, until in 2024, I decided to finish my upgrade and add new things to help me work better and stay motivated. So we finally reached the point where I can show you my final upgrade for now. It's still not completely finished, but I'm going to complete it soon. I'll tell you more about that at the end. But before that, do you guys realize how expensive Windows and Office case are nowadays? I was honestly shocked, but please stop paying those crazy prices. I've got a much cheaper and safer option for you. So I recently partnered with KeysFan, and they're offering some really solid deals on genuine software. Things like Windows 11, Windows 10, Office 2019, Office 2021, Office 365, and even tools and bundles for productivity. Basically all the stuff you normally need right after you build your PC or reinstall Windows. Their prices are already cheaper than the official Microsoft store. But they gave my viewers exclusive discount codes that make it even better. If you use the code AMAN50, you'll get 50% off any Windows key. And if you need Microsoft Office, use AMAN62 for 60% off Office 2019 or Office 2021. The process is super simple. You just visit keysfan.com, pick what you need, add it to your cart, apply the coupon, and pay securely via PayPal or a card. Within a minute, you'll receive your activation key right in your email. And yes, the keys are genuine. I've used them personally and activation works instantly through Microsoft official servers. So if you're reinstalling Windows, upgrading your old setup, or just need a fresh Office key for work or study, definitely check out KeysFan. The links and the coupon codes are all in the description below. Alright, now let's get into the video. So after showing you all my upgrades since 2021, it's time to reveal the final one. The right here is my setup in the guest room of my parents' house. Yeah, it's not technically my room, but whenever there are no guests, which is most of the time, I take it over. It's a pretty big room, but honestly not the most comfortable. It even makes my voice echo when I record. So I usually throw a pillow nearby to fix that. Let's start with the table. It's an electric desk with high adjustment, all white and way bigger than my old DIY one that wobbled like crazy. I finally decided to replace that thing after getting sick of it. This time I bought one from a proper store instead of making it myself. It wasn't exactly cheap, around $185, but for an electric desk that's still a bargain. It's 140 by 60 centimeters and you can raise it from 76 to 121 centimeters. Sometimes I love working while standing. It really helps when I'm tired of sitting. The brand is Extrion, technically a gaming table, but once you cover the logo, it just looks like a clean white minimalist desk. I don't know if I can find the same one, but I'll leave a link to a similar model under the video. The next thing is my devices. I have two mouse pads, one small and one big. The big one was purchased in a local store, but I'll leave a link from Amazon. The size is 90 to 40 centimeters, which is pretty enough. The second mousepad is 35 to 35 centimeters, if I'm not mistaken. This one is from the brand Glorious. They sent me these devices 6-7 months ago for a promotion on my old channel. Once I promoted them, the devices remained with me. I didn't know what to do with the mousepad, so I put it on the corner of the table to place my astronaut figure, mini PC with i5 12th gen, and 16GB DDR4 RAM, and glasses for the monitor, which I use pretty rarely. I'll also leave links for these things if you want to check it out. By the way, I have a video about this mini PC. I tested it in games and reviewed it in general. Next are the Glorious devices that my old sponsor sent me with the mousepad, and they're actually good. The keyboard is mechanical with red switches, and the mouse is also from Glorious in white color with the BAMF 2.0 optical sensor. Actually, I don't complain about their functionality, but the price can be a bit expensive. That's why I wouldn't buy it myself. When it comes to the mic, this is a Fifine A8, budget friendly, and the sound is not bad, as you're probably hearing in the video. Fifine also sent me this through my old channel sponsorship, but to be honest, I would have bought it myself at the time. The quality justifies the price. Along with the microphone, I have a bracket I bought from AliExpress for a cheaper price. It's not bad, but in the future I'll probably change it along with the mic because I want to raise the quality. And the last thing is my headphones, the Logitech G435. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, in this entire setup, the best thing I purchased, and I would purchase again, is these headphones. They're just ideal. Lightweight, comfortable for long sessions, and I don't sweat because of the breathable air pads. They're not made from eco leather like most headphones, and they're wireless with a battery that lasts literally 3 days without any problem. Even after 1 or 2 years, I rarely charge them. I can even use them while charging, and everything works fine. If these even break, I'll find the exact same model and buy it again, no matter what. These headphones are perfect. When it comes to price, my big mouse pad is $2, and the little one, even though it was sent to me, costs $14. The keyboard is $99, the mouse is $102, the mic is around $39 without the bracket is around $4, and the headphones around $30. Overall, the total cost is $290. Now let's talk about the other stuff. I guess we're done with the devices, so let's move to the monitor. My second monitor is actually that budget Samsung Samsung 75Hz IPS Full HD 23.6-inch display. To be honest, even though it's budget, I like the colors in it more than my main monitor, which I bought recently. It has a bracket behind it because I actually lost the original legs somewhere in the house. After all, the monitor was purchased 3-4 years ago, and since then we've moved, which led to that. My main monitor is a 2K 180Hz Xiaomi IPS 27-inch display with its original legs. To be honest, I don't really like my main monitor because the color aren't clear from the sides and look a little grayish. Sometimes I even see glitches on the screen while watching YouTube videos, and it's not because of the GPU. I tested that. I really want to sell it and buy an OLED 4K 240Hz monitor, preferably from Samsung because I like their monitor based on my personal experience. In short, my second monitor cost around $100 to $120, and my main monitor is $185. The exact models are on the screen, or you can find the links under the video. As for accessories, I've always liked space-themed stuff. So my little sister gifted me 2 astronaut figures for my birthday last year. One is just a souvenir and the other is an RGB projector that I use to take nice pictures of my setup. In general, I'm not a big accessories guy. I rarely build them myself, but that souvenir astronaut kind of became my personal touch. It's something people recognize my channel for and remember. Some people might find it annoying, but for me it adds uniqueness to my content. Next, my chair. This is an ergonomic chair from Sihu. The reason I bought it is because after a year of sitting in a gaming chair, I realized it's just marketing. I felt uncomfortable, sweaty, and the chair itself wasn't designed for long sitting sessions. Gaming chairs are inspired by racing car seats, and those aren't meant to be comfortable. They're designed to keep drivers steady during sharp movements, not to relax. That's why I switched to an ergonomic chair from Sihu for about $220, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions I've made. It's comfortable for my back and neck, and the mesh material is breathable so I don't sweat. The best choice I've made after buying the headphones. Next is my NAS, which was sent by my sponsors Ugreen. Don't worry, they didn't sponsor this video. I already made one about it, but honestly, I don't really use it. The reason is simple. I don't have enough outlets in my extension under the table that I glued myself, by the way. A real server should always stay on, but since I don't use it for storage much, I unplugged it. It's just sitting there now, not doing anything. I hope I'll find a use for it later. But if I actually bought everything myself, it would have cost about $595. Plus, I've got 4 4TB WD Red hard drives that together cost $364. So overall, the total value of the NAS is roughly $959. But for now, I bought an external Samsung T7 SSD with 1TB for $160, which is enough for editing whenever I want to work outside. For going out, I use my MacBook. I've made plenty of videos about it already. It's the MacBook Air M4 with 16GB RAM and 512GB storage. I bought it for $1,550. And as I said, I use it when I'm tired of staying home and want to work outside. Luckily, I don't get that desire too often, so it mostly sits on my desk doing nothing, except for playing music on Spotify or helping me write scripts when I'm lying on the bed. It's great for portability. I'll leave a link for it as well, along with its Ugreen case, if you want to check it out or buy it. And finally, the main thing on my desk, my PC. I built it 4 years ago. It's a budget build, which means the motherboard, CPU, and RAM are all pretty basic and cheap, except for the RTX 3060 from MSI inside it. In games, this PC performs really well. I can't complain, every game runs smoothly, and even when I lower the settings, I can easily get 60 FPS. Competitive games are no problem at all. The only real issue is the bottleneck from my Ryzen 5 2600X CPU. I'll definitely fix that soon, but I don't want to rush this video too much because later I'll tell you my future plans for this setup. And trust me, I've got a lot of upgrades in mind. So yeah, the total cost of this entire setup comes to $4,907. Let me know in the comments, do you think that's expensive or not? If you want to, all the links are down below the video. So we finally came to the part where I can talk about the upsides and downsides of living with your parents. Most people say it's obviously bad, but honestly, I don't think so. There's something important about it that people don't usually mention. Sure, the downsides are obvious. You don't have your own space, you don't grow as fast, and you definitely don't feel that full freedom. Everyone knows that part. But what people don't talk about is how living with your parents actually teaches you to keep your mouth shut. There are certain things your parents just don't need to know, no matter how close close you are. My parents aren't toxic and they never interrupt me when I'm working. They understand that if I stay home, it's for a reason, and they don't pressure me. But still, I don't tell them how much I earn or what my future plans are, because sometimes my plans are risky and parents by nature are too careful. And when it comes to income, I invest most of my money in stocks, which most parents see as some kind of scam. So it's better to just keep quiet. It makes everything easier, and thankfully they don't understand English, so they don't watch my videos anyway. But here's the thing, why is this hard? And what does it actually teach you? When you live alone, life forces you to keep your secrets to yourself because, well, there's no one around to tell. But when you live with your parents, it's harder. You want to share things with them, you want to talk, but learning to hold back even when you could share, that's what really builds discipline. It teaches you that some things are better kept to yourself. And honestly, that lesson will help you a lot in the future, especially for men. Anyway, I don't want to dive too deep into this part because I'm not planning to stay at my parents' house forever. So let's move on and talk about my future plans for this desk. So the first plan I'm really excited about is building a new PC. This one is just getting too old for editing. 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM isn't cutting it anymore. And my Ryzen 5 is totally bottlenecking the RTX 3060. So I'm not even getting the full potential out of it. The motherboard is outdated too. So yeah, I'm definitely saying goodbye to this setup next year. And of course, once I get my new PC, I'll show it to you guys. I'm not spoiled or anything, I'm just genuinely passionate about building PCs. It's like therapy for me. The next plan is moving out from my parents' house. I love them, I respect them, but at some point as a man, you've got to grow. I want to invest in my future and build my own studio and create my own space for filming and working. The only thing holding me back right now is my university. It's in the same city where I live with my parents. But next year, God willing, I'll finish it and then I'm planning to move to another city. Because this one is way too expensive for my age. I'm 21. Still, I'm super grateful for all of you and this channel. Your support means everything to me, and it's because of you that I can open up like this in my videos and actually make a living doing what I love. So yeah, thank you guys. Anyway, I'll definitely show you any future changes in my setup if this video does well, of course. So don't forget to share, leave a comment to boost it, and subscribe if you haven't already. With this video, I really wanted to share a bit of my personal side because even though we're tech YouTubers, we're not robots who just make reviews for money. That's not me. I like mixing lifestyle and tech, telling my story while talking about PCs, gear, and setups. That's what makes this channel different. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and take care.